are particularly in, right? So I run a cryptocurrency exchange based out of India. So the day we launched, a week before that, the government brought in a restriction, which totally affected our business, in a way that we were not, there was no reason for us to launch and go ahead even, that's the level of impact a news came in just a week before our launch. So ideally what we did then, redefined ourselves, has made us what we are, and the success that we are enjoying now is because of those key decisions we took at that time, right? So we pivoted quickly. And launched a new platform that we built in a week's time, right? So one of the major learnings that I would say is businesses, right, especially the ones in bleeding edge technology, you have to learn to pivot quickly, right? Because you're in a tech where there's a lot of things will keep happening. So don't get stuck with your ideas, platform, and everything which you built some time back. Find an opportunity, pivot. Right? The next, one more thing I would add here, always take care of your team, right? So that is your biggest resource. Take care of your team. Your team is something will keep you, it will help you keep going miles ahead. So tough time, good times, whatever times it is, even at the cost of you, always take care of your team. Okay, so this was the time when we were just growing, guys. We were in the market for like hardly 4 months. We were yet to we were yet to break even. At this point when there was a lot of competition in the market, we were new entrants. We just started offering our service. People are just getting to know about Geotest, that is the platform I am. That's when I decided that we should go ahead and increase the fee that we charge for customers, even higher than what our competitors were doing, right? Now, as a growing business or a new business, what you would think, you will fight the market with your price advantage, right? So, and breaking that, you'd have learned a lot in our MBA and all, like you can charge a premium with the service you give and all. But actually going ahead and taking that risk and implementing it, we were one of the few guys who had experienced it firsthand, right? So we were so much confident on our customer service. We were so much correct on the product we were giving it to customers, that even during a tough time when even other exchanges were not able to survive and shutting shop, we were one of the only business who went and increased the fee which we charged for the customers. And it worked out beautifully for us. So this helped us even turn positive or break even, right from our launch. Within 7 months time, we turned positive, we broke even, right? So this was one of the greatest business altering decisions we took, where we were ready to take challenge because of the pride we had on the product, the pride we had on our customer service per se. We thought that whatever we're giving to the customers is unmatched. So let us not really worry about charging the customers more for that. When you're an entrepreneur, when you start up something, don't freak out when you face a constraint, right? Things will not go as you plan. It will always, or most of the times, go not according to your plan at all. So don't freak out. Rather see all these constraints as some way to turn it into an opportunity, right? See, like one of the things I started off saying, right? So when we came in, the government, the RBI had put a ban saying that the bank should not support our industry. Now, this at the end of the day turned it to our advantage, because before we came into the industry, there were 30 plus exchanges which were live. Now, what had happened, this particular decision gave us an opportunity of a level playing field with all the exchanges, right? So actually, many of them went out of business, and we were actually gaining volume from them. Now, if we had thought this as a really big constraint and not gone ahead with launching our exchange, we would have lost out on the race before even starting the race, right? So whenever you see a constraint, see it as an opportunity. See how you can turn it into an opportunity to your advantage. Because as an entrepreneur, most of your ideas might not exactly work like how you want. Fix your North Star, start running towards it. If a constraint comes, take it to your advantage and keep moving forward. Don't freak out. Important that even before you start, you check a lot of legal things in your industry and stuff. See, like, this is my advice, guys. It might not fit to everyone. I started an enterprise in the cryptocurrency space where there's a lot of legalities, regulatory and stuff which we had to go find out, get some advice on. But per se, guys, when you're seeking something, right, you will find your answers. You know, that's how I want to put it. Now, the answers could be from your lawyers, family, or could be someone from your alma mater even, right? From maybe IMC even, you could find someone who can get you help on legal, right? But there are particular lawyers, consultants and stuff which were industry specific. They do charge a lot, right? But as a startup, you might not be able to afford that. Do your seeking, guys. You know, see, even in an industry like me, when we wanted to get advice, a lot of it ourselves, right? We found the legality ourselves, right? I mean, it's a set thing, right? When you need advice, maybe you can try to search and find from people, from your friends and family, or there are a lot of these online law associates and stuff you can get help from. Yeah, so my advice is most of them you can get the help yourself, but if business demands that you need a really big law help, in terms of fighting it out with someone or some stuff like that, then yeah, you should budget the law expense and have your startup. Yeah, so. We are a self-funded startup till now, guys. Okay, now it's been almost 700 crores of trade volume we have done till now. 1 lakh customer registrations. The last, this year has been amazing for us. 30% growth month on month. So all this, we were able to achieve without the help of any external investment, right? So me and my co-founder Arjun Vijay, who's also an IMCN, my batchmate from 2013 pass out batch. So we both had funded the startup, seed funded the venture ourselves, and we were able to get it to a level, and we thought that till at least sometime now the investment was not needed. Actually, this is also something most of the entrepreneurs should know when they have to raise an investment even, right? So now we were raising our investment, right? Now we are approaching investors, in talks to raise the investment and stuff. Now what we find it easy, what we find it tough, right? So our numbers are really good, frankly, just to say 100,000 plus customers. The growth is really good. The industry is also growing amazing. I per se don't have any issue, because of my numbers, right, to convince any investor. The only point we have an issue or struggle convincing the investors is the regulatory setup in our field, the worry that the investor puts in money and the regulators shut down the industry, right? So that is the only part we're convincing. So at some point of time, it is, whatever the founder does, whatever you guys do your level best in pitching and convincing, it is the investor who has to take that final risk, right? So he's taking a risk with you guys, right? To say that, okay, guys, let's just do it. Let's try it with my money, right? So so that call, some investors should take. We are yet to find an investor who has to do that, because we've just started searching out. Yeah, so I mean, for startups, most of now at least investors are not willing to invest much in the idea phase. At least they're expecting the startup to execute it and show their initial revenues, initial customer base and stuff. I think new startups should be working towards that. How do they execute? Become live, execute, and show the initial customer base at least before they go to the investors. That would be my advice, guys. Start off. Prototyping is still not a right stage to go to investor. Maybe get your initial set of customers, right? I think that's the best way to go convincing. Okay, so now I come from an Amazon background, guys. So you guys could have heard about the Amazon leadership principles and stuff, but I'm not going to talk about all that now. So one key thing what I used to like in those principles that I tried to implement in my organization and want to build the core in the culture was the ownership part of it, right? Now, as a startup, what ideally we wanted to build was people who have strong feelings the work they do, the product that they build, who almost consider, whatever they do as their own child, right? So now when people take that ownership, right? Now saying that, okay, now you let it be a customer service executive even, right? And the customer service executive, when you're able to bring that feeling in him that it is his ownership, that he will deliver a really good experience to the customer. If he's not able to deliver, he is going to feel bad. So that ownership, right? So that is what we try to build in the organization throughout. Now, one of the key things what we do is we spend a lot of time when we have a business idea or when we're implementing some process in the system, we spend quite a lot of time sitting with the team members and trying to convince them on the decision that we have taken. So why we do this is to build that culture, saying that now I've convinced you, now I have made you agree to it, I've made you excited about the fact that you're going to do it. So you take ownership of whatever you're going to do. So that is the culture that we are trying. So why I feel it's very important right now. This one pride I take in my now, if we give a work or a project or someone in my organization, I can be rest assured that it will be done, right? I don't have to go keep checking or following it with my people that are they doing it, not doing it, So that ownership is something we try to bring into people, and it's at the end of the day, it's a very flat organization, small team. People can discuss with anyone at any point of time. They can call anyone at any point of time. It's a free-flowing communication team. And the one which I see again, now I take this point of ownership again, which if you're able to bring into any organization, any team, you'll just make them see wonders, right? Because there's nothing called a bad mother, right? Every mother does a great job to his kids, right? Just like that, right? If you get that feeling to any employee that it's their own kid that they're building, they're going to do wonders.